Welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupree Show. We used to say the second half, but second quarter of the Bobby. And I had just begun. I had just made a statement that while I was working on my program, I think that was Monday night, I was sitting at my chair, watching the television was on, and I could pick up some tidbits. And during one of the news articles on television was non-alcoholic wines that are available today are possibly healthier than the normal wines that we've been drinking over the years. So maybe I could get a bottle and celebrate my one-year anniversary. I haven't had a drink, and that's the man upstairs. I prayed that I wouldn't, and I haven't, and it's wonderful. So anyhow, I'm not anxious to get the non-alcoholic either, but it's good to know, and it's good to pass on, because there's other people that maybe are in a function sometimes where it's nice to have a glass in your hand. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it's non-alcoholic, so what the devil?
You got it. How about this picture? We talked a bit about 911. Show this picture. We had the Father Lafleur Mass this past week over at St. Landry Catholic Church. And I want to congratulate all the people that came out, from the Knights to the American Legion to all the different folks. It was celebrated by Bishop Provost. A lot of you know Bishop Provost because he was in Lafayette quite a few years at the Cathedral and at Fatima. Monsignor Romero came back to town. Father Brady was around. And, of course, the Lafleur family, Richard and Miss Carol, all involved. And I want to remind people that there's a new project that they're doing with a scholarship in honor of Father Lafleur. Father Lafleur was from Ville Platte, went to school at Opelousas Catholic, and was a minister in Abbeville before he went off to war and passed away, killed in the war, Second World War. They're going to give away a $1,000 scholarship at each of those schools each year, and they're trying to build this scholarship fund. They had someone made a donation of $50,000 to get the fund off the ground. Wonderful. I think they only need about $20,000 more to make the whole project go. Any donation will work. If you want to mail your check to St. Landry Catholic Church, attention, Father Lafleur Scholarship Fund at 1020 North Main Street here in Opelousas. It'd be a nice thing. It's going to help a kid, just like Father Lafleur, entering high school that needs some help at the 3 different schools: Sacred Heart in Ville Platte, OC in Opelousas, and then the Catholic school over in Abbeville. So.
Talking about scholarships, yesterday I had the good fortune of having a good meal at Jolie's Bistro and restaurant on Pinhook. And Steve,
owned by world famous Spanky.
Spanky, better known as Steve. And he was in an old T-shirt and blue jeans, and he was working on top of the building. And he did when he saw me sitting down waiting on the other guys. I met with Kerry Daigle, Bo Williford, and Glenn Armentor. And when I was leaving, Spanky was still working on that project. They were having fan problems with one of the blowers to blow the cool air on a steady basis throughout the building. I might add, they had a nice crowd. The young lady that's apparently kind of like the manager, the day manager, was very optimistic and very upbeat. The business has really picked up real nice.
Beautiful building full of beautiful art from George Rodrigue with his picture of Jolie Blanc. And I've been knowing Glenn Armentor for a long time. We've talked about his generosity to the community in so many different ways. And I know he's really helped the Raging Cajun Boxing Club, and that's what we were meeting on yesterday, to organize, pick a date, and kind of how we're going to promote this fundraiser. And we were talking, and he mentioned about his background, and there's a DVD that he gave me, and it says here, it's got a picture of him, what he's about 2 right here? I think it's 4. I think it was 4.
4, okay, 4 years old. He was small. And some judge me by my poverty, others by my potential. And he mentioned that a couple of people really caught him at the right time when things could have gone the wrong way, corrected him, got him into school studying, college studying, law school studying, and of course We all know that he's been highly successful, and but he remembers those roots and how hard it was for him to, and he knows that there's a lot of others out there that are struggling to get into high school, into college, and into business. And he has this DVD which he gave to me, and he has a scholarship program, and we spoke about that scholarship program here. Pays $10,000, Pay It Forward Scholarship Program, what he calls of excellence. And I'm anxious to open it and hopefully watch it this weekend when I have a few minutes. Very interesting background, and I learned a number of things, and I'm sure I'll hear about it. But he says of all the things that he's done, he puts the scholarship program right at the top of his giving back into the community. And I know I've had a lot of good feelings. And I asked him, I says, do you know Clyde Simeon and Ricky Minix? He says, oh yes, two very successful attorneys. In fact, he says, I've worked with them on various cases over the years. And I said, well, they received my little scholarship way back yonder when they graduated from high school. So I know the feeling he's getting now. I started mine in 1968. That's a long time ago. And we've given out quite a number. And occasionally they walk up and thank me. And just getting it and going to college, hopefully, that they'll start it, and Clyde and Ricky have started a scholarship themselves. And so that really makes me feel good.
That whole idea of passing it on.
Passing it on, and that's what this program here is for.
Casa Ole over here in town. Go by and have the great Mexican cuisine at Casa Ole with great drink specials, margarita specials, lunch specials. You can go by. They've got a drive-through window where you can order and pick up your stuff through the window. Even the margaritas, they'll seal them up nice and tight for you, so it's legal for you to pick that up and bring that home to your party at home, or go inside and enjoy it. After the Father Lafleur Mass, me and my whole family went out to Casa Ole, had a wonderful time. And look, a bunch of good, very polite, great service from what I would guess about college-age kids running around in there.
That's
fantastic. Good. It's a good place to go. Go by Casa Ole. I just like what they're doing to help kids in the community.
I do too.
And one more. Let's hit Targill Seasoning. Targill can get you all your seasoning supplies, your butcher supplies, your cutlery, your kitchen supplies, whether it's everything from an outdoor kitchen to a camp, maybe you're a supermarket or a restaurant, whatever you need, they can help stock all that type of stuff for you. They can do seasoning blends for you from your smallest personal use. They can do packaging and help you design your own canisters if you want to use that for promotional work, or you just want to get into seasoning sales type business. They can help you with that as well, with their own recipes or your recipe at Targill.
Over at 3 Mile Lake, which is a lake that's situated approximately halfway between Port Barre and Krotz Springs. They'd be on the north side of Highway 190. And there's probably approximately 400 lots there. And on those lots, probably 350 have structures of some sort or another. And of course, it keeps developing and has really developed. And we were working along with the developer for many years on a one year to 1 year agreement that the Lake Association, that's the property owners, have a lake association, and of which I serve as president. And we kept wondering what would happen down the road when we're not around and maybe the developer is no longer around. And I'm speaking to Mr. Walter Leon Packer. Walter is 83 years old, seems to be in good health, did have open heart surgery a while back, but then that's good. When you can catch it in time like he did, that's all positives. And we got to talking seriously about working on an agreement that would be a perpetual agreement forward.
So you wouldn't have to renew this every year?
Wouldn't have to renew this every year. And Walter was anxious to sit and work with us, and he did just that. Want to certainly thank his attorney, Dougie Dean, for working with Walter and our group.
Show this photo, Mark, while he's talking.
Yeah, and yesterday afternoon, and it went to the 11th hour. Like any agreements are made, usually there's always things happen until the last minute. But we had a board meeting, and the board authorized me to sign this agreement, and we want to certainly thank our attorney, Chad Pete, who worked through this, and Jim Lopez, who had been our attorney, volunteered to stay on during this project at no cost to the association, I might add. Stayed on and did his, and he wasn't able to be here for the picture taken, as was a member who has been on the board longer than any of us, and I'm speaking of Jimmy Bertrand. For some reason, Jimmy wasn't able to make it, and I really feel bad. Can you do some trick photography there?
Well, I thought about it ahead of time. I could have slipped him in there, or at least always tease him all the time. He looks like he's got that beard like Ray Stevens. You know, the one used to sing the song The Streak, and always tease him that he looks a little like, I could have put Ray Stevens in the picture. Nobody would have known.
But, and I want to thank all the members for electing us to the board to represent you. And there's nothing really different other than it's a perpetual agreement. We still just can manage it, and we also manage the parking lot and the boat launch, and that's all part of this agreement. This is written into the agreement. So we really think that it's good for Walter's heirs and himself now, and it's good for our future.
It guarantees that the owners have some input into what's going to happen with the lake, because the other way, with it only being Mr. Leon Packer's lake, it's his lake to make some of the decisions with, whereas now with this this long-term agreement, they can feel comfortable that they're always going to have a say. They always have a vote.
And of course, the western end of the lake is now owned by Keith Fontenot and Lil Hannah Farm, so I want to make that clear.
Right.
We were happy, and I want to name the board members as Chad Pete on the left, our attorney, and then Harold Taylor, Miss Carolyn Wells, Pierre Mistro, Glenn Ollier, and Honore Pete. And sitting, of course, in the blue shirt is yours truly, and in the brown shirt, the man who has turned over all this responsibility to our group, Mr. Walter Leon Packer. Thanks to all of you. And two more people I really need to thank, and I have a note on it here. And I don't want to forget is Mimi and Robert Wolf over at Morgan Goodall and Associates. They went into
the surveying of the property.
Long time, old records and everything to assist us in trying to get some descriptions and acreage and everything else. So thanks to everybody. If I overlooked your name, I apologize.
All right, we got this.
And our photographer, Andrew Gitro. Andrew's the one who came and took this. That's right.
Definitely made it.
A little after 5. You were there.
I got it. How about this? We've got, we're talking all about the 911 and military. American Legion Post 45 is going to have their disposal ceremony for unserviceable flags. You know, you got to get rid of your flag. You're supposed to burn it and get rid of it. The American Legion will do that service for you. Drop it off at the Palace Cafe on Landry Street at any time between now and the October 9th meeting of the American Legion. You can call Ken Thibodeau 942-2736. And we're down to the half hour, the halftime break. We're going to see you folks on TV and radio on the other side of 1 minute.
For the first time, I touched him on the leg.
That's
like
right.
He reminds me.